When you walk into a marketplace, something magical happens. You smell the freshly baked bread. You see the bright colors of fruits and flowers. You hear music or the hum of people talking. And before you realize it, you've already made a decision about what to buy. But what if your choices aren't as free as you think? What if your senses, sight, sound, and smell, are quietly guiding your wallet? Today, we'll explore the hidden science of the marketplace and how colors, scents, and sounds shape what, when, and why you buy. A marketplace is not just a place of trade. It's a laboratory of the senses. Every smell, every sound, every color is carefully orchestrated to create an emotional reaction. Marketers and psychologists call this sensory marketing. It's the science of designing environments that trigger your emotions before your logic kicks in. Think of it as psychological choreography. Your senses are the dancers, and your brain is following the rhythm. Let's start with smell, the most emotional of all senses. Research shows that scent travels directly to the amygdala, the part of your brain that processes emotion and memory. That's why a single whiff of roasted coffee can instantly make you feel comforted and awake, or why the smell of oranges might remind you of sunny mornings. Stores know this. Bakeries pump out the smell of bread. Clothing stores use subtle floral scents. Car dealerships even use new car smell sprays. It's not random, it's science. In one study, adding a pleasant scent to a store increased customer spending by nearly 40%. Because a relaxed brain is a buying brain. Next, let's talk about color. The first thing your brain notices, even before shape or text. Colors don't just decorate, they communicate emotion. Red stimulates appetite and urgency, perfect for sales and fast food. Yellow creates warmth and friendliness. It invites you in. Blue feels calm, trustworthy. That's why banks and tech companies use it. Green signals nature and balance. It's common in health products. Black and gold. They whisper luxury. The psychology of color is so powerful that a simple change in packaging can double a product's sales. Imagine 2 bottles of water, one blue, one red. Even if the liquid is identical, your brain will think they taste different. That's the color illusion at work. Now, listen closely. Sound is another invisible hand shaping your behavior. Fast-paced music increases your heart rate and energy, which can make you move faster and buy impulsively. That's why supermarkets often play catchy tunes. In contrast, luxury stores use slow, ambient music to encourage calm browsing and longer stays. Psychologists call this tempo priming. Your brain syncs its rhythm to the environment. Even the pitch matters. Higher tones feel light and fun. Lower tones feel serious and sophisticated. It's not coincidence. It's neuroeconomics, the science of how sensory input changes spending behavior. We often forget about the sense of touch, but it plays a critical role in the decision-making process. When people can hold or touch a product, they're more likely to feel ownership, a phenomenon called the endowment effect. Even slight textures can change perception. Smooth packaging feels clean and premium. Rough textures signal authenticity or natural origin. Soft textures make products feel more comforting. That's why supermarkets encourage sampling, because once your hand makes contact, your brain starts saying, "This is mine." The most effective marketplaces don't just sell, they storytell. Every sensory cue, the smell of roasted peanuts, the sound of bargaining, the color of hand-woven cloth, builds a story in your memory. This process is called emotional anchoring. Your brain attaches feelings to specific sensory experiences. That's why you might prefer one market or brand even when prices are higher, because it feels right. You're not buying a product, you're buying an emotion. Inside your brain, a powerful chemical called dopamine lights up whenever you anticipate a reward. Shopping environments are designed to trigger that response. When you smell something pleasant, see a color you like, or hear an enjoyable tune, your brain releases dopamine, making you feel good before you even make the purchase. That's why window shopping feels satisfying. It's literally rewarding your brain. But once dopamine fades, your logical brain, the prefrontal cortex, steps in and justifies the decision. Emotion first, reason later. That's the biological order of consumer behavior. What's fascinating is that this sensory science transcends culture. From the bright spice markets of India to the minimalist boutiques of Japan to the farmers' markets of Europe, each uses sensory design tuned to human universals. We may speak different languages, but our brains respond to the same primal cues: warm light, pleasant smells, rhythmic sound. Markets everywhere are living proof that biology and culture dance together in the art of persuasion. In the digital age, the marketplace has gone virtual. But the psychology hasn't changed. It's just evolved. Online stores use visual cues like smooth gradients, clean colors, and motion animations to simulate physical experiences. Add to cart buttons are often orange or yellow, because those colors drive action. Subtle sound effects or vibrations in mobile apps recreate the tactile reward of real-world shopping. Even product descriptions include sensory language: freshly roasted, silky smooth, crisp and cool. It's proof that our brains still crave sensory input, even when we're shopping through a screen. The next time you stroll through a marketplace, pause for a moment. Notice the music in the background. Breathe in the air. Is that cinnamon? Citrus? Coffee? Look at the colors. Bright, warm, or calm. You're not just shopping. You're participating in a science experiment that's been running for thousands of years. Every smell, every sound, every shade of color is part of a design meant to guide your emotions. The marketplace doesn't just sell products, it sells feelings. And the most successful sellers, they're not just merchants, they're sensory architects, building invisible bridges between your senses and your soul. Because at the end of the day, we don't buy things because we need them. We buy them because they make us feel alive.